You hear a rumor at work. You tell yourself you are not interested. Then you lean in anyway. A small detail about someone else's life suddenly feels impossible to ignore. Why? Most people think gossip is a bad habit, a flaw, a distraction from more important things. But the real answer is far stranger. The urge to gossip may be one of the reasons humans built large societies in the first place. Long before cities existed, long before money, governments, or written language, your ancestors lived in tiny groups. Every day depended on cooperation. Food had to be found, children had to be protected, dangers had to be avoided, and that created a problem. How do you know who can be trusted? Imagine living in a camp with 30 people. One person shares food, another lies, another refuses to help, another steals. If you cannot track those behaviors, your chances of survival drop dramatically. This is where gossip enters the story. Today, gossip sounds trivial. Thousands of years ago, it was valuable information. Knowing who cheated, who cooperated, who fought, and who shared resources could mean the difference between safety and danger. In other words, gossip was not entertainment first. It was intelligence gathering. The evolutionary psychologist Dunbar proposed a fascinating idea. According to Dunbar, language may have partly evolved because humans needed a more efficient way to maintain social relationships. Primates groom each other. Humans talk. Instead of spending hours physically maintaining bonds one at a time, conversation allowed people to exchange social information with many individuals at once. And what kind of information mattered most? Information about other people. Who did what? Who can be trusted? Who cannot? Who is gaining influence? Who is losing it? Suddenly, gossip looks very different. It starts looking less like a bug and more like a feature. Your brain is deeply social. It evolved in an environment where relationships often mattered more than raw strength. The strongest person could still be excluded from the group. The smartest hunter could still lose allies. The individual who understood social dynamics often had a major advantage. That ancient reality left fingerprints on your modern mind. Even today, social information grabs attention with incredible speed. You may forget statistics, you may forget instructions, you rarely forget a shocking story about another person. Why? Because your brain treats social information as valuable. Researchers have repeatedly found that people naturally pay attention to information involving human behavior, reputation, cooperation, and conflict. Those topics activate powerful emotional responses. Your ancestors benefited from noticing them, so your brain still does. This creates an interesting paradox. Many people claim they dislike gossip, yet many of the world's most popular forms of entertainment revolve around it. Celebrity news, reality television, social media drama, office rumors, community scandals, different packaging, same ancient mechanism. At its core, gossip is often about reputation. And reputation is one of the most important invisible forces in human life. Think about it. You have never met most people you hear about, yet their reputation shapes your perception instantly. A single story can make someone appear trustworthy. Another can make them appear dangerous. Your ancestors relied heavily on these judgments. There was no internet, no background checks, no formal records. Information spread through conversation. Reputation traveled through stories. The anthropologist Christopher Boehm argued that social groups often use collective judgment to regulate behavior. When people know others are talking about their actions, they become more likely to follow group expectations. This creates accountability. Nobody wants to become the subject of negative discussion. Even today, that pressure remains powerful. People modify behavior when they believe others are watching, not because laws demand it, because social consequences matter. This may explain why gossip survives in every culture. Different languages, different traditions, different histories, same behavior, again and again, across continents and centuries. Human beings exchange information about other human beings. The pattern never disappears. But gossip is not always harmless. The same mechanism that helped small groups survive can create serious problems. False information spreads, Rumors grow, details become distorted. A tiny misunderstanding can evolve into a completely different story. Your brain has another ancient tendency. It loves narratives. When information is incomplete, the mind often fills the gaps. That can be useful. It can also be dangerous. Sometimes gossip helps communities identify harmful behavior. Sometimes it unfairly damages innocent people. The mechanism itself is neutral. The outcome depends on how it is used. This is similar to language. Language can teach, language can inspire, language can deceive. Gossip works the same way. The tool is powerful. The direction matters. Modern technology changed the scale dramatically. For most of human history, gossip traveled slowly. A story moved from one person to another, then another, then another. Now a rumor can cross the planet in minutes. Your brain did not evolve for this environment. The same mental systems designed for small tribes now operate inside global networks containing millions of people. That creates strange consequences. A social disagreement between strangers can suddenly feel personal. A celebrity scandal can dominate attention for days. Online conflicts can trigger emotional reactions even when they have no direct impact on your life. Why? Because your brain still interprets social information through ancient wiring. It cannot fully distinguish between village drama and worldwide digital drama. To your nervous system, social information remains important. Researchers studying social neuroscience have discovered something interesting. Social exclusion activates some of the same neural regions associated with physical pain. That finding became widely known through work by Naomi Eisenberger and colleagues. In simple terms, being rejected hurts. Not metaphorically. Your brain processes it as a meaningful threat. Suddenly, another mystery becomes easier to understand. Why do people care so much about what others think? Because throughout most of human history, exclusion could be catastrophic. Groups provided food, protection, cooperation, belonging. Losing those connections carried enormous costs. Gossip became one of the mechanisms groups used to evaluate membership and behavior. Who belongs? Who contributes? Who breaks trust? These questions mattered. They still do. This is why gossip often spreads fastest when it involves violations of expectations. Someone behaves unexpectedly. Someone breaks a rule. Someone gains unusual success. Someone experiences a dramatic failure. The event creates uncertainty. People seek information. Conversation expands. Stories multiply. The brain becomes curious. Curiosity itself has evolutionary value. A curious individual gathers information. Information improves decision-making. Decision-making affects survival. The chain is ancient. Yet gossip is not only about danger, it can strengthen bonds. Sharing stories creates connection. Two people discussing a third person often reveal their own values in the process. They signal agreement, disagreement, trust, identity. The conversation becomes social glue. This helps explain why casual conversations frequently drift toward people rather than abstract topics. Human minds are built to navigate social worlds. Other humans remain the most complicated and important part of that world. A mathematical formula rarely changes your social standing. A relationship can. A conflict can. A betrayal can. A friendship can. Your attention follows what matters. For millions of years, people mattered most. There is another surprising twist. Many individuals assume they are less influenced by gossip than everyone else. Yet studies consistently show people absorb social information even when they believe they are being objective. A reputation introduced early can shape future judgments. A single story can create expectations. Those expectations influence perception. The process often happens automatically. Without awareness, without permission, without effort. Your brain constantly updates social maps. Who is reliable? Who is risky? Who is respected? Who is ignored? Those maps help guide behavior. They helped your ancestors. They still help you. The difference is scale. Today, you maintain social knowledge about far more people than any prehistoric human ever could. Friends, Co-workers, influencers, celebrities, politicians, public figures, online communities. The social world expanded dramatically. Yet the ancient machinery remains largely the same. This is why a piece of gossip can feel strangely rewarding. Not because humans are inherently cruel, not because people enjoy negativity, but because information about social relationships has carried value for a very long time. Your brain learned that lesson long before civilization existed, long before schools, long before careers, long before smartphones. The lesson became embedded in human psychology. Pay attention to people. Their choices matter, their reputation matters, their behavior matters. Ignoring social information could be costly. Remembering it could be useful. That ancient calculation still operates quietly beneath modern life. The next time you hear a rumor, notice your reaction. Notice the curiosity. Notice the attention. Notice how quickly your mind wants details. That response did not appear yesterday. It is the product of countless generations, a legacy inherited from ancestors who survived by understanding the people around them. What feels like idle conversation often traces back to one of humanity's oldest survival strategies. The strange truth is that gossip is not merely a habit, it is evidence of how deeply social you really are. Every whisper, every rumor, every story about another person's choices points back to a time when understanding people was one of the most important skills a human being could possess. And even now, in a world filled with technology, algorithms, and global communication, your ancient brain still leans in when someone says those familiar words. Did you hear what happened?